Hi, Daniel. This is Daniel Waters.
Oh, yes, sir. I got your message. Let's see. I have your file right here. Let's see here. Actually, my director was able to get through to Miss Santiago. She said that she is going to send you an email, actually in the next couple of days. Let me check, see.
Lizy did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's done that before, many times.
What we'll do is, we can give her some time to send that email and address your concerns, and if she doesn't address your concerns, then we can take the next step, which would be for you to consider like a more formal complaint with our chief disciplinary counsel.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then that way, the chief disciplinary counsel can investigate, the matter and move forward that way, and then you would have the emailed response and everything, all your efforts, also would be like additional evidence.
Of course, of course. There was something that I didn't tell you. About the same time Lizy sent this letter to me, Joe had also sent a letter to me, but it was very scary sounding. And he said that if I kept telling people that, which I have this in an email also, he told me if I kept telling people about my experience with him and Lizy, that he would file an injunction against me and force me to be quiet. And he also said he would bring me to South Texas, whatever that means. And also in the same letter, he also said, he said, these were his words, "We can settle this admissibly if you just leave me and mine alone." Whatever the me and mine, I've never heard an attorney speak like that, but
Yeah, that is.
But it's very scary. Joe has always been very determined to keep himself as far from me as possible. But he was always the one who made he made the promises, he made the threats, he made everything. And then what was crazy is, as the 2 years progressed and turned into 3, he had all kinds of excuses. At one point, he even told me that if he had to, he would go as far as saying that he didn't even know me, and that there was a chance he could find a way to make it look like Joe is a scary individual. And the last letter he sent me, which was around the last time Lizy wrote me just a couple months ago, he said that he would, if I kept telling people about this, he was going to drag me to Houston and file an injunction against me and all that, which I've been calling, and there's no warrants for my arrest or anything like that yet.
Right.
But it is. I've never dealt with anything like this, and it's nothing like the TV shows or the novels read. This is much scarier, and they seem to be able to get away very easily. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I know with the State Bar of Texas, any type of retaliation, is taken very seriously and dealt with pretty severely. So it's a situation where if it gets to the point of you filing a formal complaint, just be comforted in the sense that since it's a self-reporting system, the integrity of the system, it really is dependent on people's ability to feel comfortable that they can file a formal complaint, ask for there to be an investigation, and not have any concerns about possible retaliation. Now, if the attorney did try to retaliate in some way, that could be additional.
I would think that would be a charge. A criminal. You can't put people in jail for telling their life story.
Right.
and or at least I thought in this country you couldn't. But yeah, he seems to be becoming he seems to be becoming more agitated as I continue to speak about this, my whole situation with him and Lizy, and the whole injunction thing. I would think that's against the law to file an injunction against somebody, with false allegations. That, he even said in this email that I've got that, it was slanderous what I was doing. But, here's the thing: we were involved with each other for 3 years, and I've got everything from emails to phone bills to, consent forms, contracts, to prove it. But I didn't know if you needed to know that, because it is kind of scary. I've never been told by anybody I was going to be, put away or whatever, simply by telling people what happened to me. And to me, that is very, I'm not kidding, man. It seems like organized or something, very organized.
Yeah, it's very disheartening, the entire situation. But you do have avenues of recourse. You do have the ability to at least have what's going on reviewed, looked into, and investigated to make sure that that there's no wrongdoing here as far as a violation of our rules. And so it's let's give Ms. Santiago the opportunity to respond, and if not, then again we just move forward with the next step.
Okay. Do you want that letter from Joe?
Not at this time. Now, if you have to file a formal complaint, with the Chief Disciplinary Council, then yes, definitely that would be something you would include.
Okay. I'm just thinking because, I'll be honest with you, I filed a grievance once before against them, and, of course the bar sided with them immediately, whether they're wrong or right, but I just don't know how much more, I don't know how far I can let them go, with threats and, as far as I'm concerned, 2 years later, that's harassment, and maybe even beyond harassment. She may even be, that could be considered stalking. I mean, following somebody silently and giving them emails here and there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of creepy, man, and it's scary, and it's not what I thought American attorneys were about.
Right.
And I didn't know that they would stalk me 2 years later and tease me, like they are. It's very peculiar and highly questionable.
Yeah, I understand that. Like I said, I mean, we'll definitely do our part as far as if the attorney doesn't want to follow up the way that that she's told us. Then the next step is for you to consider that that grievance, and we're just going to move forward that way.
I noticed the one thing you said in our very first phone call. You said it was kind of peculiar that she waited so long to, talk to me. Does the bar look at any of that?
Well, when it gets to the point of a formal complaint, what the State Bar will look at is the attorney's actions in relation to our rules of professional conduct. Now the attorney has responsibilities to, address, client concerns and give information to the client that's requested. Now the length of time in between it just depends on the investigator who's going to be reviewing it. If they see some sort of connection, some sort of concern, they're definitely going to follow up on that.
I mean, how many years will they get to do this to me? Call me, harass me? I mean, because, dude, we're going on 4 years, and it's just, what's next? I'm not trying to be funny, but what's next? They show up on my doorstep with, with whatever. I'd filed a complaint, with the bar, and they didn't do anything, and, I thought that was it, but now they're not allowed, but, whether they're disregarding the bar or the laws of the land, they're Lizy, this is definitely stalking or definitely some kind of harassment, because I have not. What was very, strange was even you had said, it's been a while since you guys have communicated. And yeah, it has. And I just, is this a law that attorneys get to stalk and harass past clients? Or
No, it's something that's I mean, really, I haven't heard of of an attorney doing. It's
I know, and I hope that you guys can really help me because I've never heard of an attorney contacting somebody they burnt 2 years later unless it's just pure sadistic, uh, unless it's just pure sadistic heart saying, the bar will protect us and we can commit crime against you if we want, whether it's stealing, harassment, and it's scary. I hired these people to help me with, physical problems I had, and instead, I'm not kidding, I feel like they're acting very criminal.
hmm yeah, it's and it's something that if another avenue of recourse to consider is the local district attorney's office in the sense that they actually make those decisions of if something is considered criminal or not. They have that. It's called prosecutorial discretion. And they can investigate something. Say, you know what, we feel that there's criminal acts taking place that we're going to prosecute.
I just find it very strange that Joe told me, from the get go, and it's even on the contract. It was the three of us. The contract said the parties are Daniel, Joe, and Lizy, but yet he continually says he has nothing to do with Lizy and I. But for the whole 2 years, I was talking to him most of the time, and he was the one who eventually told me, "Hey, I've got great news. We settled your case for $15,000." And when I said, "Well, that's not a lot," that's when they pressured me, of course, into taking it. And then when I agreed to it, then I never even got it. And I just don't see how any of this is just bypassed, by my first grievance, 2.5 years ago. I just don't see why this was all let go unless, the state of Texas is profiting from me, and not just Joe and Lizy. I don't know if they're handing out my money to their bosses, and everybody's paying each other off to burn me. Because this just doesn't look very good. Do you know what I'm saying? Including offshores.
Right.
Stuff like this does not look good offshores, let alone inside of this country. I just don't understand. I'm not the enemy, man. And I didn't do anything to anyone.
Yeah. I understand.
I'm not somebody offshores. You know what I'm saying? I'm just one person who just asked for some legal help. That's it. And instead, I feel like I was viciously attacked by American attorneys.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Like I said, we have our process. We just have to let that process go forward.
Yeah, I'm. All I can do, is just, try to do what I can do to, get them to pay me. But it's just, one of my bigger concerns is why do most of the officials I've talked to, why have they just turned their head to me?
That I don't know. What officials have you been talking to?
Well, I didn't really talk to anybody, but I have sent letters to the director of the bar. I sent a letter to the Attorney General for Texas, which he never wrote me back. I sent a letter to Rick Perry, which I don't, didn't really expect him to write. And, I haven't gotten any, response from any Texas officials. And I'm telling you, it just kind of looks organized, very criminally.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why there hasn't been any kind of responses or anything along those lines. It might be as far as like jurisdiction, who has responsibility over, what particular, problems and issues. I know when it comes to attorneys, really through the state bar, even the director of the state bar, they're not able to get directly involved in a grievance or possible, action that could be grievable. It's something that the chief disciplinary counsel, handles. They actually have an ombudsman's office, someone who actually.
Yeah, I just, I don't know why this is happening to me because I haven't done anything to anybody.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure either.
I think probably because they can probably get away with it.
Yeah,
I feel like the Texas bar grievance system. I feel like they, man, when you've got a complaint like I do, and it's very easy to see. There's contracts, there's paperwork, there's email. You have to consider, are these people covering up, a theft of funds, an international theft of funds, because AstraZeneca's across seas. And, when it's something, it'd be one thing if I just showed up and said, hey, man, this all happened. But I didn't have anything to prove it with. No consent form, no emails, no nothing. I could understand, the bar saying, well, we've got problems believing your story. But, with all the evidence I have, I don't understand why I'd be, unless I'm being robbed on an organized level.
well, I mean, I'm not sure, why something like that would happen in the sense that, anyone here at the bar would be complicit in that because, I mean, the risks of doing that. I mean, it's, they're risking not only their livelihood, but the attorneys would be risking their licensing if there was like fraud involved. I mean, they'd be risking their freedom, probably for an attorney that they don't even know, and risking their careers and reputations. I don't know, you know, I can understand, with a big organization like this, how you can feel that way, but I don't know of anyone here that would be willing to risk something like that. On top of the fact that it would just be plain wrong.
Yeah, and then you have to question if that's the possibility, then how can somebody like Joe and Lizzie just get away with all the evidence I have up front?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely something to bring up with the ombudsman's office. I mean, you bring up a good point.
Yeah, I know. Um, okay, so I'm waiting for Lizzie to. I mean, here's my thing. It sounds exciting that Lizzie's gonna email me, but you know what? She emailed me 2 months ago. Saying, "Do you want your money again?" Well, you can't have it. And it's just. I mean, how many emails? That's why I said, how is there a law that says attorneys are allowed to harass? Because how long is she going to get to be able to do this? What's sad is she's giving away the answers. She's saying she burnt me and she has the money. But yet no one's saying, okay, damn it, give him the money.
Right.
And it's just, it just looks very organized.
Yeah. It's I think the problem is that we're not in a position where we can force the attorney to take a specific action. It's it's just I don't know of any organization that is. I mean, a judge could step in and do it, but again, how you get to that point, as far as getting in front of a judge and getting a judge to force or compel them to give you the money. I don't know. Since I'm not an attorney, I really can't give you any advice on that.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm waiting for her to send me another email.
Correct.
and and so she told you guys that she was going to email me again.
Correct.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not doubting she's going to email. It's just, what's it going to say? You need your money wired to. I mean, can you believe that email? And then I don't even get the money. This is like, like I said, going on 4 years. The second, third time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really. Again, I don't
It's
know.
ridiculous, isn't it?
I feel so. Yeah.
I know, and you would have thought the board would have done something about it the first time,
Yeah.
unless they're involved somehow and profiting from this and don't want to disrupt any kind of profiting. But
Again, I don't know why anyone would risk so much for such a a little gain.
Yeah, well, if there's, let's say, there's like 18 million people in the state of Texas. It's the second largest populated state in the union. Say there's, do the math. Let's say they did get me 20,000. What if there's 500 of me, 4 or 500 of me out of the 18 million in the state of Texas? Say there's 500 lawsuits. Dude, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and a lot of potential for a lot of time in prison.
Yeah, and it's crazy. No one knew Jeffrey Dahmer was eating people for 20 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is. It was on the news. You know, okay, I just wanted to call and see how far this was. You know, I appreciate your time and stuff. It's just, this is a whimsical ride that I don't know how long it's going to go on. I don't know why she's allowed to, rob me, steal from me, and then harass me years later. But, anyways, I guess I'll just look for her email and, I'll let you know what she says, and, you don't know what your boss and Lizy talked about, do you?
No, I don't have the particulars now.
Okay.
Our main focus is to try and facilitate that communication between client and attorney. I know that's the main focus of the conversations that take place.
Yeah, because it was just very crazy. She just came out of nowhere, said, we've got your money, send me an address. I sent her 2 different addresses. I don't know if you saw the email. I sent her my friend's home address, and I sent her, a post office box address in downtown Dallas at General Delivery,
Right.
and never got anything. And then I never heard from her again. I wrote her one more letter saying, a lot of time's gone by, bills have piled up, and just never heard anything. And I've just never seen or heard of an attorney playing games like this for years.
Right. Yeah, it's not something that I've seen either. I'm not sure what's going on here.
I do. They got away with robbery. They know no one's going to persecute them for it. So they're going to keep on. And it's not good, man. It's just, I don't understand why they're being allowed to get away with it when she's already admitted, we got your money, I want to wire it to you, but then she doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure either. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what would be the next step after, let's say she calls me and says, you know what, I don't appreciate you calling authorities on me. Screw off.
Then the next step would be not only to file a formal complaint with the Chief Disciplinary Counsel, but to contact your local district attorney's office and see if they view what she's doing as criminal. And then they'd be able to prosecute her as a criminal act.
More than criminal, I would really love to get the money they owe me.
Right.
Because I need it. I have medical bills and I wasn't even able to continue the research because of no funds, and that's what this was all about.
Yeah.
And
well, they also have, through the state of Texas, through like when a criminal act takes place, there's victims compensation funds and stuff like that can help with that. And then who knows what will be the result of if there was a criminal investigation and a prosecution.
all right, well, I'll just I don't know, I guess I'll give it till next week, and if she doesn't write me in the next 3 or 4 days, I'll just call you by Thursday or Friday.
Okay. Definitely.
Okay, when you say that an informal complaint can be filed, do you mean a grievance?
Well, a formal complaint is a grievance, yes.
Okay. You know that I already wrote a grievance, 2-3 years ago, right?
Right.
Okay, but that can be overridden with new actions on their behalf.
Correct. Mhm.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Daniel. I'll let you know what's going on by next Friday.
All right.
If you don't
And,
answer the phone, I'll just leave a message.
Okay. Yeah, good deal. And if I have any updates or anything like that, I'll definitely pass them along, and we'll just move forward.
Okay, man. I really appreciate you, taking your time. Well, it's your job, but anyways, I appreciate you being positive.
Thank you, sir.
And
Take care. You have a good day.
yeah, you too.